Okay, this is Josh Rackless. I was going to write a Facebook status about this, but I thought I would make a video this time, partly so that you can see the emotion in my face because I can't believe this has happened again, and also because, well, you'll understand when I tell the story, I just got off a streetcar stop, or I guess it was a bus stop because they're under construction, about a mile from where I was supposed to be. Okay, so if you scroll down my Facebook page, you can see a status from a week or two ago where I was on the streetcar, and there was this really cute girl that I saw before I got on the streetcar, and then I got on the streetcar and I sort of sat just, you know, in a position that I could look at her but not be too obvious about it, but I was thinking of talking to her, and then this quasi-homeless guy, I don't think he was quite homeless, but he was probably on the edge of being that, started talking to me and saying I had big muscles, and then you know, I got in this big discussion, and the girl sort of perked up, and she was sort of looked, and maybe I could use this to my advantage, but then I just got off the streetcar, and somehow I had just spent all my time talking to this guy. So we got in a big discussion about it on Facebook. You can see all the comments. People were like, you should have just talked to the girl. Given her, Lena said I should give her my business card or a note saying call me. Whatever. Okay, so flash forward to like 15 minutes ago. I was at Spadina Station, and I was walking up to where the buses are, and this beautiful girl was on the bench waiting for the bus. Curly brown hair, really cute little outfit, and I was like, wow, I should talk to her. But I didn't. I sat inside, and I was playing with my phone, and then I got on the bus, and she was sitting sort of on her little seat there, and then I sort of sat in a way that I could sort of look at her, because she was just a vision of beauty, and I'm creepy. So I was sitting on the bus, and I swear to God, well, actually, I think even when I sat down in the station, she sort of looked at me and smiled. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty attuned to these things. Actually, I have no idea about these things, but in my head, that's what happened. And then on the streetcar, a couple times she sort of looked over and smiled. I swear to God, she did. Because she wouldn't look over if she didn't want to be looking over. Like, you wouldn't look over at something you don't want to look at. She could have just kept looking ahead, and her hair was covering her face, so she didn't have to look over. But she did look over a couple times, and there was a bit of a smile. So I felt like maybe there was something going on there. And then I was planning in my head, like, what am I going to say to her? I'm going to do something like, hey, big Sunday night plans, or something. I just was working through what was going to go on in my head. And I think this started around Queen Street, is what was starting. What I'm about to tell you is what started. I was sitting there, I was formulating, I only had like a couple more stops because I was coming to King Street where I was going to get off, and I'm like, alright, I'm just going to say something. And then this quasi-homeless guy, not the same one as the story I just told you about, a different guy, this one seemed to be skinnier, but same kind of thing. Like, he wasn't dirty enough to be homeless, but he was just weird enough to be homeless. I just hear this voice saying, oh, you must, you work out, eh? I'm like, what? And he's sort of looking at my arm. There's my arm. He's looking at it. He's like, you work out, you got big muscles. I'm like, is this some kind of like weird joke the world's playing on me? It's the exact same thing that happened last time. Because last time I was standing in the weird quasi-homeless guy in the streetcar was like, hey, from like the other end of the streetcar was like, you work out, you got big muscles. So here's another guy going, hey, you work out, you got big muscles. I'm like, yeah. And I'm trying to remember what the lessons were from the last time. What did I learn? I don't know what I learned. And I started going through, okay, Lena said give her my number, but I'm talking to this guy, so maybe I'll show that I'm a nice guy and I can talk to quasi-homeless people. I think that's like, you know, showing you get along with dogs and stuff. It shows you're sensitive. So I'm playing along. I'm like, yeah. And this time I had the presence of mind to start videotaping it with my phone, because I don't even believe the last story. It just sounds so ridiculous. And I thought I better film it this time to prove to you that this is actually going on. And so I started filming it, and I now had to keep going with the conversation because I don't want to be rude. And I will post the video. You can see what ensued. And then the girl, I was waiting for her to turn back just like the other girl did, and I think she sort of did, but actually, no, she didn't. And then that was it. So I mean, I couldn't let this end. I could have just got off the streetcar, but I had to see how this played out. The bus. So I kept going down Spadina, and I was hoping that he would just shut up, and then I could say something to her like, isn't that weird when strangers talk to you on the streetcar? But he sort of got off at some point, around Kingish or just past or something. Actually, yeah, past. And then I was like, one more stop with her. I'm like, where's this gonna go now? Like, I don't want to go all the way down to the lake, but I was willing to do that. I was willing to make that sacrifice for her because I was very much in love. And then she sort of got a phone call on her phone, and now she's talking to whatever douchebag that she's probably gonna go see for some date because she's going to City Place, and only douchebags live there, and only douchebags date beautiful women. So then she's on her phone. I'm like, well, what do I do now? I can't just yell out, hey, big plans, who you talking to? Like, it's completely gone off the rails. Now maybe she thinks I'm quasi-homeless because I'm chatting with, maybe these girls, when they see this happen, they just assume that I'm buddies with them. I'm quasi-homeless guy. Or at the very least, I'm gay guy because I'm letting them hit on me. Like, it's just, none of it works at all for what I want to happen. So then she just, you know, gets up and gets off, and then I'm like, well, why am I even on this bus? But I can't just jump off and follow her because then I look like I'm stalking her. Although, no, I mean, I got on the bus. I mean, it's not like I've been stalking her forever. I mean, I could have been getting off the same place. Why not? But anyways, all this is going through my head, so I got delayed. So then she gets off the front, and I'm like, oh shit, I need to get off this bus. So then I go to the back, and I push it, and he's already moving. So then he had to stop again, and I finally get out, and I push it again. And I get out, and I sort of look, and she's on the corner. I'm like, what am I going to do? Run after her? I can't do anything. Quasi-homeless guy has ruined this, and he's not even around. He got off a couple of stops before. So he's ruined me and the girl, and he has basically cock-teased me and just taken off after getting me all hot and bothered with his "you have big muscles" bullshit, and now I got nothing. So I didn't think I could squeeze that all into a status quite effectively. So this is like a video status, if you will.